All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who teach and rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful like brothers out there that striving for salvation during these electrifying and exciting times. And a few sisters is sincere about this truth. I say Shalom. I want to do this quick video. It's gonna come a time where the Most High is gonna start on a wide scale judging the hell out of the women of our nation, because our women are they're not only they out of order, but they have many whorish ways. So I'm gonna just play this video and then I'm gonna go into the scriptures.
I'm coming in fast. First place, you coming in last. I'm hitting that shit fast. I'm coming in fast. First place, you coming in last. I'm hitting that gas. I'm hitting that ass. I'm fast. I'm coming in fast. First place, you coming in last. I'm hitting that shit fast. I'm coming in fast. First place, you coming in last. I'm hitting that gas. I'm hitting that ass. I'm fast. I'm coming in fast. First place.
Yeah, so what would possess you to do some shit like this? Like, what type of hoe you gotta be? That's some homosexual nasty. That's just nasty. But they all smiling and laughing, and you got the Edomite dude. This got them up to doing this. He putting them up to doing this type of stuff. Like he's pushing them to do this. This is the type of activities that our women reduce themselves to actually doing. So I'm gonna get in the first scripture. Actually, that's the second scripture. This is Isaiah 3:8. It says, "For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord, to provoke his eyes of his glory, to show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom." That was some homosexual activity they were doing. It says, "They hide it not. Woe unto their souls, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruits of their doings." So yeah, because this type of things that you're doing comes with a consequence. Because the Most High said there shouldn't be you shouldn't have this type of activity, this type of lewdness within our nation. It's woe unto the wicked; it shall be ill with him, for the rewards of his hands shall be given him. And that Edomite, he's the wicked. It says, "Woe unto the wicked; it shall be ill with him, and the rewards of his hands shall be given." So he's gonna get his just due on him putting our women up to doing something like this. All these Edomites that have our women, I'm not just talking about the Southern Kingdom women, but Northern Kingdom women too. They be doing this type of stuff too. But their hands will be rewarded with the evil that they push for. It will come back on them. Dropping down to verse 16. "Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wong-tongued eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making the twinkling of their feet." But that's the attitude that our women have. Our women are haughty, they're hoish, and they follow after lewd, unclean, and nasty activities that they push forth out there, and they laugh at it like it's cool. They laugh at it like it's nothing. But this is why the scriptures say that our people is like smoke in the Most High's nose. It irritates him and it burns him up. It makes him angry. All right, so this is We're gonna get into this Ezekiel 23. It's pretty lengthy, but it goes into it goes in heavy, and this is the mindset of the Israelite woman. I'm talking about the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. It says Ezekiel 23 and 1. It says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women and daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. Egypt, modern day Egypt, is here in America. Watch how this cross references. Just when as I'm reading this, put into play the mind of the type of women that we see in society today. The Israelite woman. Just what you see on social media, what you see on the internet, what you see out in public, the type of what you see on this being uploaded, this being caught on film, it's being caught on tape, like people recording it on their phones. Just pay attention to what is being read and how and what you see from the activity from our women today. Mind you, a modern day Egypt is America. It says, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. They were so like it. I want to bring out this point. It said they committed whoredoms in their youth, and that's the whole point I was saying. Think about what you see today. The women that are committing a lot of the stuff that you see are young. They're getting younger and younger and younger. On up to the women of older age. It says there were their breasts pressed, and they were abused, and they bruised the teats of their virginity. And the names of them were Aloha, Salakia, Ahola, the elder, and Aholabah, her sister. And they were mine, and they bare sons and daughters. Thus were their names. Samaria is Ahola, and Jerusalem, Alohabah, Aholabah, Salakia. I'm gonna get that straight. But this is equivalent to, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom women, because back in ancient biblical days, if I'm not mistaken, before the Samaritans got in the land of Samaria, Northern Kingdom would dwell in that area. In Jerusalem, of course, you had Salakia. Northern Kingdom would dwell in the land of Samaria, if I'm not mistaken, before the Most High moved our people out of there, because our people were acting up back then, and then they got replaced with the Samaritans in that land. You could go into 2 Kings 17th chapter, I believe, goes into that. And in Jerusalem, of course, you had Southern Kingdom. Verse 5. And Ahola played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted on her lovers, on the Assyrians, her neighbors. Now, Assyrians would be your modern day Edomites. That would be, or your other nations, primarily Esau, but it classify under all nations, of the other nations as well. They're heathen nations, which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, and of all them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. Now that's how the women of our day today, they love men with power. They like the flashy guys. They like the guys with appear to have money and power. That's what our women go for. They go for it. The dude could, if he looks like he got something going for himself, they go for that. That's why they were desirable men, because even this woman, even back then, that was a spirit that was out. Thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all of them that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all of them whom she doted. With all their idols she defiled herself. And our women do that as well. They'll get with somebody and they'll just start whatever that dude believes in. That's what they go with. Verse 8. Neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt, for in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity, and poured their whoredom upon her. And use the word they, like she did this. This was multiple men that this was going on. So she was a straight up whore, a straight up harlot. She was a hoe, you know, um, a thought, ancient thought, which modern day today would be a thought. Verse 9. Wherefore I have delivered her into the hands of her lovers, into the hands of the Assyrians, upon whom they doted. It's like she doted. These discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters and slew her with the sword. And she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her. So the Most High had them same ones put her ass to death. And that's what's going to happen in the future that's coming. All these women that's acting this showing these, all of our women that's being, doted or doted themselves upon all these different men, and especially with the so-called white man, like that video I sent, I showed those same Edomites, the wicked, is gonna be putting these women to death. They're gonna be having them in concentration camps. They're gonna be putting them through them FEMA concentration camps, torturing them and putting them to death. They're gonna starve them out. They're gonna, they're gonna be putting them to death. They're gonna be having their troopers coming through the neighborhoods. It's gonna get real bad for them. That's why the scriptures tell you in Micah 7:10. She that is my enemy shall see it. Shame she shall be ashamed. Roughly paraphrasing, she's gonna be stumped out like the mire in the street. Roughly paraphrasing. Verse 11. And when her sister Aholibah saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate loving than she, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. So she was more of a thought than her sister was. She doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbors, captains, and rulers, clothed with gorgeously horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. So that means they must have, like if it's modern day today, they must have had a badass car, a nice fancy whip, something that would be flashy, something that's gorgeously, something, might have had a Bentley or a Phantom or whatever it is that they would consider today something that would be a gorgeous car. Verse 13. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, and that she increased her whoredoms. For when she saw men portrayed upon the walls, the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion, girded with girdness upon their loins, exceeding in dying attire upon their heads. All of them princes to look to, after the manner of the Babylonians of Chaldea, the land of their nativity. Babylonians, the modern day Babylon is America. They were decked out. They had fancy clothes on, fancy gear. And as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted upon them. Isn't that what the women do? They see a dude, they see a dude, he got his fancy jewelry on, he got the latest gear, latest clothing, fancy clothes or whatever, shoes or whatever. They get to getting on his coattail. They get to jocking him. They get to, you know, rolling up on him, flirting and all that stuff. That's what they do. The same thing back then. Verse 17. And the Babylonians came to her into Salakia, verse 16. It says, and as soon as they saw them, in her eyes she darted upon them and sent messengers unto them into Chaldea. And the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredoms, and she was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. So basically, they went in there and they all had like an orgy. They went in there, all them dudes popped her. It was all they ran, basically ran like a train on her. The same thing that these Edomites be doing with the women today. What do you think actually happened in that video I played afterwards when the camera went off and they had enough wine in their system? That's exactly what happened. Verse 18. So she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms, in calling to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt. So basically, she just remember how she used to get down when she was younger. For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is like the issues of horses. Thus thou called to remembrance the lewdness of thy youth, in bruising thy teats by the Egyptians for the paps of thy youth. You know, that she was like when she was young, when she was getting knocked up. She was getting knocked up and getting pregnant, because it tells you earlier in the chapter that they had sons and daughters. So she was getting, at her young age, getting popped and getting pregnant. Therefore, Aholabah, thus said the Lord power, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee, for whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side, the Babylonians and all the Chaldeans, Pekods and Shoah and Koah, and all the Assyrians with them, all of them desirable young men, captains and rulers, great lords and renowned, all of them riding upon horses. And this is what's going to happen. They're going to have the Most High going to send Esau and his military and his troopers, and they're going to be in their Humvees and tanks, and they're going to be in their military police vehicles, and they're going to come through your neighborhood. They're going to come after you. I'm talking about you whorish northern and southern kingdom women of the nation of Israel. And they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people, which shall set against thee bucklers and shields and helmets round about. And I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgments. Meaning they're going to do whatever they want to do. And there's been commercials out where, like there's this one particular commercial where this helicopter comes, and his family is looking out the window, and they see these troopers come, and they come into their house, and they basically invade this family's house, and they tie up and beating on the husband, and then they have the daughter, they hold the daughter, and they have the wife, and they start raping them. They start raping the daughter and the wife. They weren't only just raping them with their own bodies, but they were using their weapons to basically plow the women, in with their weapons. And they took them all out on the lawn and blew their heads off. Then the little girl was trying to run away through the woods, and the camera shows on the other side of the woods, it's nothing but troopers. So she was running into her death. So I wanted to just, you can continue reading on to the story if you want to, but I was just going to end it right there, just using it as a example of what's to come. These type of women with these type of activities, they have a payback coming from the Most High. See it. That's why the scriptures say that she that live in pleasure is dead while she liveth. I believe that's 1 Timothy 5:6. You're dead while you live because those whorish ways is going to lead to your death. Because you're sinning against the Most High. And the wages of sin is death. So with that, I'm going to close the video out. I want to say all praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.